Greetings, Earthlings! In the past several videos, we have been talking about other people, the unconsciousness in other people, which is a brilliant tactic because when we see unconsciousness in other people, we can see it in ourselves. When we see the bullshit in other people, we can see it in ourselves. So over the past week, I've made videos about Jeff and Shalea, Doreen Virtue, dipping into Aubrey Marcus, a little bit more of the unconsciousness in the world. But that can have an effect on you as well. It can bring up some stuff in your own life. So today, let's shift gears just for a little bit and let's look inside of ourselves. What do these things bring up in us? I know yesterday's video on Doreen Virtue made me feel some type of way. I had spirits after me. The ego arose. I'm going to talk a little bit about that today. But the purpose of this channel, the Shaman Patrick Show, is healing, growth, spiritual development, calling out some bullshit from time to time. So today's episode will be for those who want to use the past several episodes as a way to become more conscious. Are you ready? I am. I love this shit. So let's go.
He was once a storm in human form, sharp tongue, cold soul, heart worn and torn, living like a ghost who missed his grave till the spirit sang out and called him brave. He got rewired by the great unknown, heard the call like a dial tone to the bone. So pull up a chair, enjoy the glow. This is the Shaman Patrick Show.
When you realize there's no shortcuts, you just get right to work. There's no shortcuts. There's no way to skip past the pain. There isn't. There's no way to bypass the anger. All of that has to come out somehow. It does. Like I tried to stuff down anger. I tried to stuff it down. Didn't work. I ended up with IBS, headaches. Like all disease starts in the mind. All of it does. I know people fight me on this, but when I realized that all disease starts in the mind, then all I have to do is change my mind. It's very difficult to change your mind, especially when you've got people in your life causing you trouble or criticizing you or steering you away from your path. I mean, I was raised by some very sick people. And while I'm not going to talk too much about the story of that anymore, I've decided I don't need to tell it anymore. I think I've explained it at length over the past several years, exactly what was going on. It was a very difficult thing to get through, but I think I'm mostly through it. And that's the thing. You will eventually get through it. Whatever you're going through, you will eventually get through. But there are no shortcuts. There is no way to bypass it. You actually have to go through it. So some of the videos that I've made have been very confrontational for me, maybe for you, maybe leaning a little bit too hard into ego, but it's also a brilliant exercise watching things you disagree with, because it did unlock some things for me, especially the one about Doreen. After I made that video and edited that video, I was struck with this profound sense of dread, just dread. And I was like, I shouldn't be saying these things about her. I shouldn't be saying this. This is terrible. People are going to call me unconscious. Of course, it was all ego, all spirits, all hammering at me. And it was a really rough thing to get through. But I do believe that I wasn't saying things bad about Doreen. I was saying things about the ego. The spiritual ego. Essentially, that whole video was about spiritual ego run amok. And so, you develop the skills to be able to notice that it's ego. At no time did I say it's anxiety. At no time did I think that it was anything other than the ego and some spirits trying to say, no, Patrick, don't do this. Please. This is gonna help people. This is gonna awaken people. Please, please, please. So today I'm going to talk to you about processing old pain. We're going to watch a video from Eckhart Tolle's wife, Kim. Did you know Eckhart had a wife? He doesn't really talk about it all that much. I was kind of surprised to discover that he had a wife. He doesn't talk about his personal life all that much, and that's a good lesson for us all, isn't it? So we're going to watch this video from Kim. It looks like it was from a retreat, and I love this video. I've returned to this video at many times in my life. It has to deal with conscious suffering, and it has to deal with processing old pain. And I love these Q&A sessions because you're not alone. Okay? Everybody alive today has a pain body, has some old pain that has been stuffed down. Okay? You're not alone. No one is exempt from this part. So give yourself a break and let's process that old pain. Let's do it together.
Since I've been here, I feel like I'm doing the conscious suffering, and I feel like I opened the top of a sewage, and it just keeps coming and coming.
Okay, I want to go back. Conscious suffering is when you suffer consciously with the idea that you're getting to the end of it. You're burning out the pain body and it's burning out the ego. So conscious suffering is when you suffer with a purpose. You know that there's an end point to it.
And coming. And I don't have my usual distraction methods like internet or alcohol or anything. So it's really, I'm being really present with it, and I'm trying to also stay aware when the stories try to latch on to the pain, and then I realize that it's just trying to make sense of it, and it feels like an ancient pain. And I'm surrendering to it, but at the same time I feel exhausted, and my physical body feels weak. And I'm just wondering, is there something I can maybe do for myself to just not so much ease it, but just somehow like go through it a little bit with a bit more strength or comfort, or for physically speaking?
Now, this question would sound insane to the Love and Light crowd. It would sound insane, you know, and for people who bypass, that sounds insane. Like, why would you want to feel pain? Why would you want to put yourself through this? Not distracting yourself with alcohol or drugs. Like, I have worked with people and I've said, you know, this is the only way through it. You've got to suffer consciously and not reach for a pill or a bottle or anything like that. You just have to actually feel that pain. And it sounds insane to people. It really does.
This is the strength. You are going through it without any of your addictions, whether it's the internet, alcohol, drugs, or whatever. This is strength. The fact that you are going through this without any devices is strength. The only thing is that the mind is telling you that you may have a picture of what strength is. And maybe you have a picture of strength as when you feel really good or when you feel really happy. And that's a different kind of strength. But this is a strength of emptying our baggage. And there really isn't any easy way but just to go through it. Now, this is a critical point for you because you're at this where now you feel like as if, oh, I want it just to be a little bit easier. And that's the point where maybe you might watch yourself and you see where you might pick up your device or have a drink or what your normal things that you do to not go through something. And, you know, there's hundreds of things out there that we could use as our devices. But this is the critical point. And you're right, it is exhausting. So why not just be exhausted?
That's a really good point. That's a really good point. Why not just be where you are? Like it, and when my husband came home from work yesterday, you know, he could tell I was in a state, and I'm like, the ego is putting me through it. There's some pain, like it's overwhelming. Just got this YouTube channel monetized, and the ego and the pain body are in a full on panic yesterday. There's all these lovely people in the chat on the premiere of the episode. It is the ego and the pain body are hammering me. And Merrick and I have been through enough of these episodes, and we're like, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And you just have to just be present with it and know that you're probably doing something right. If you're getting hammered by ego and pain body, you're probably doing something right. But over the past, I don't know, 2 years, I've allowed myself to just be sort of sick and exhausted, and and I have the benefit of being able to lay down when I want to lay down. You know, some of us have extremely difficult, painful life circumstances to work through. We do. Some of us do. Some people may not have a big old heavy pain body. But if you have been abused as a child, if you've been narcissistically abused, if you were raised by alcoholics, if you were mistreated, neglected as a child, like all of that stuff can lead to a pretty heavy pain body. Somebody who was loved and cared for by loving, conscious parents, they may not have such a big pain body to work through. But again, this is an unconscious world, and you know, life will find a way of forcing you to deal with certain things. And you can be grateful for those opportunities, or you can refuse those opportunities. You can distract yourself from the feelings and the emotions that come up, especially anger. Like I've been letting myself get angry lately, and I'm amazed because it's not like a rage, like, I'm so mad. But it's just like, I'll remember something, I'll express some anger over it, and then it's over. It's just gone, never to return again. And all this anger that I was afraid to feel throughout my whole life is just coming up, popping off like little popcorn kernels, like, and then it's over, and then it's over, and then it's over. It's a beautiful fucking thing. I love little anger, but also I have a conscious partner. I have a conscious husband. He can get angry about little things, and then we're laughing about it a few minutes later. And that's how you know it's just pain body or just angry remnants, dingleberries, because it's over. It's like, and then it's over. It's pretty damn cool.
There's nothing wrong with being exhausted. Maybe you have an image of yourself that you should not be exhausted, that you should be this, I don't know, happy, bubbly person, or somebody who looks really strong and who isn't tired, or, I mean, the physical body gets tired. Emotional work, to feel it, is exhausting, especially when it's been a well of emotion that we have to go through. I'm tempted to say something, at the same time I'm not, because I don't want you to choose this because you want to run from this, the emotions.
I don't want to.
There was one time where I went through really, really, like, very strong emotions. It was very difficult, very hard. Dark night of the soul, some people will call it. And then the fellow that I was dating at the time, who was also awakening as well, he said to me, well, you can ask for it to be slowed down if you want. I went, really? I mean, that was a thought. Okay. So I said, yeah, okay, I want it to be slower. And I got it. But when I look back, it's something that I regret. Because now over time, I have these little inklings of having to go through the dark night of the soul instead of going through it, just going through it. Now, we're going to choose what we're going to choose, and however reason that happened, it happened like that. And it's an acceptance that it happens like that. It's just a longer process.
What did you choose? Did you know that you could choose things to be a little easier? I chose the more extreme method. But I'm also much older. I didn't have my awakening until I was in my early 40s in 2013, and I'm 53 now. And I was like, well, I got to go through this quickly. Like, I was on the express path of becoming a shaman. A lot of shamans get chosen when they're young adults or even younger. And in my case, I didn't awaken until I was in my late 40s. There was some wisdom in that. The spirits were wise in that, because in our culture, the symptoms that I was having would have been called schizophrenia. They were not called schizophrenia in my case because it happened to me when I was older. So the psychiatrists that I work with were able to dispense of, like, well, it doesn't usually happen in people your age. It's probably not schizophrenia. So the wisdom of having it at a later age was like, oh, okay, this doesn't normally happen to people my age, or maybe if at all. But, going on the express path means is that you're going to feel terrible. You might have a few years of just terrible sickness, illness, but it's up to you. Which would you rather have? Would you rather have a quick, painful experience, or a long, drawn out, dull, painful experience? Because I'm going to tell you, there's a higher order at play, and you are safe, you are protected, you are guided. It is how it is happening on this planet. And I'm saying that with very little word salad. And if you notice, these spiritual people are talking real shit. They're not talking about timelines and ascension and all of that kind of stuff. This is the grounded spirituality, the stuff that really, really helps you heal, grow, and develop. It's the real. And that's the stuff that I feel is so necessary to talk about. The stuff about ego and pain body is stuff that can actually fucking help you heal from some pretty nasty old wounds. And the thing about those wounds is that they are old, and not dealing with them keeps them current. But aren't you ready to throw that shit in the recycling bin? Aren't you ready to just get rid of all that old pain that's no longer necessary? It's just sort of hanging around like a ghost or a party guest that won't go away.
So if you can, I invite you to just really go into it. Allow your body just to be tired. Rest more. Go do an inner body meditation. There was a time during some deep meditation that I would go through, like a lot of meditation. And it was in the evening, it was bedtime. And my body slept, but I was fully awake. And just watching my body sleep, feeling my body sleep. And yet my eyes were open the whole time. Like I couldn't move, my body couldn't move. Our body is not our consciousness. So we can be conscious and have the body do its thing because it's an impermanent device and it gets tired. And we can allow it to sleep, rest, yet be fully aware and conscious. So this is what I'm inviting you to do when you say you're tired. Go and lay down and rest your body and be fully aware, awake. I mean, you may fall asleep, and that's okay. It's not a problem. But it's an important time to now just nurture yourself in the would feel like an enveloping emotions that just are there. So do some things for yourself that will nurture instead of going to your devices, whether that means taking a hot bath, although I don't know if there's bathtubs here, whatever makes you feel more grounded and not so lost in the emotion. So the fact.
Here, I want to talk about this because that those reaching for those devices. I mean, it can be you can get addicted to reaching for those devices, needing something on. Like I'm guilty of this. Like when I'm home by myself during the day, working on content and stuff, I got into this habit of looking for something to talk about, looking for something on YouTube to talk about. And what could I make the next video about? And I realized yesterday that, oh gosh, that's the ego has me by the balls. Like the ego has seduced me into thinking that I need to look at things because I used to watch one or two things that I disagreed with as a spiritual practice every day. But then I would mostly watch conscious stuff. But when getting this YouTube channel monetized, I'm like, well, the people want the stuff that they disagree. The ego is fucking crazy. But then again, Merrick told me that I could talk about anything and make it entertaining. And he encouraged me to maybe do some conscious stuff and then do some not unconscious stuff and all of that. So you find your rhythm in life. And the devices thing, but don't let me lose that, spirits, please. Don't let me lose that. Okay, so you think that you're reaching for your device to comfort you, but in a way, you're feeding that pain. You're stuffing it down. Like I know that whenever I go on X, I feel horrible. It doesn't make me feel good at all. And I know this, but sometimes I will just find myself picking it up and looking at it. What the fuck am I on X for? There's no reason to go on X. I have muted, I have cleansed my X feed so many times. I've banned words. I've blocked things, but this sort of like I just wanted X. I just wanted my spiritual people on there. I just want my spiritual people on X. But this political, divisive shit that I personally disagree with finds its way on my feed. I'm like, how does this happen? I've said I don't like this shit. X, Elon Musk, you listen, I've said I don't like this shit. Why does it keep coming up? Because that's the way that it works. Because social media is designed to make you angry, to get you upset, to get you outraged over something so that you comment on it or you share on it or something like that. That's the way that it works. And so I know that using X makes me feel terrible. But there's some unconscious need, like maybe I don't want to deal with my own issues, so I want to deal with somebody else's issues. I don't want to call myself out, so I want to call other people out. It can be a disease. It can be a sickness. And the same with my husband. He has learned that there's no reason to check your email first thing in the morning. There's no need to be on your phone first thing in the morning. There is absolutely no need. Some people check their phones as if they are doctors or lawyers or CEOs of companies. And these are just chicks that work at the Dollar General store. And so the phone can make you feel like you're really, really important, that there's something important going on that you need to know about. And, checking devices is a huge issue. It is a huge issue for me as well. There was a time that I would try to lose my phone in the house. I would just lose the phone. And I sort of developed this laissez-faire attitude toward it all. Like, people would try to call me and I just would be like, oh, I couldn't find my phone, and just not care about it. And that can put some people off, but really, the device addiction is a really serious one. It really is. For me and my husband, we're always looking something up. Why do we need to know all this shit? For real.
The fact that there is an awareness and you are the witnessing presence to this and you feel it, those two together are the vehicles for transformation and for letting this go. It's just, unfortunately, because whatever is down there, we don't know. We don't even know how long it's been there for and how much we've held down there. So we don't know when it's going to end. So don't even go into your mind and say, I just want this over with. Of course the mind wants this over with. But it's just having to go through it one by one or 10 by 10. It doesn't really matter. It's just your experience in this moment. And if I had to guess, your mind is telling you almost like, I shouldn't be unhappy. But you're unhappy. And it's the happiness and unhappiness that we so desperately want on the conditioned level, on the level of form, which is not going to be the true happiness. As we go through this, we have to go to what is deeper, that is the uncaused happiness. So a happiness that is not caused by any particular event, or unhappiness that is caused by any particular event, not caused by any particular event.
I want to say something about that, because she really hits upon, dealing with this kind of stuff is not fun. Dealing with old pain, old stories, stuff that, like, we don't even know why we feel this garbage. We don't even know why we feel it. But it can make us unhappy. And I think that you can get to the point where you realize that if nothing can make you happy, if nothing out there can make you happy, no, not money, not drugs, not a Nintendo Switch 2, nothing has the ability to make you happy. Well, if that's true, then nothing has the ability to make you unhappy either. Whoa! Wow! What a thing to realize. What a thing to realize. And so you can suffer consciously without being unhappy. You can greet it as if it's a something that you just have to do. Many people, like here, many people can be on time for their job. They can be on time for their job. They can get up at an hour that they don't like to get up, and they can go and they can sit in a place for 8 hours, hating every minute of it. They can do that easily, because it's like, well, it's something that I have to do. Something that I have to do, Patrick. I have to work. Okay. But when it comes to dealing with this pain, when it comes to healing, when it comes to growth and spiritual development, they ain't got time for that. Ain't got time for it at all. If it comes to getting on a sleep schedule or eating better or getting to the gym, ain't got time for it. But they do have time to go to this job that pays them money. And that's all the job does for them. The job does not emotionally fulfill them. It does not get them excited about life. It actually makes them miserable. They're dying inside. They're dying a slow, quiet death. They have time for that shit, but they don't have time to do the stuff that actually fucking matters. Isn't that weird? Like, I noticed this in my husband, and I said, how can you be on time for work, but you can't be on time for yourself? Is it because you get paid for it? Well, let's take away the money. Let's say that whatever you do in your life, the money is going to be there. You're going to get paid for doing something. I mean, God will find a way to pay you. You're going to get paid for doing something. So you're going to be taken care of. Okay. So let's say that, the money is there. Would you willingly choose to put yourself through your job or the stuff that you have to go through at your job? Now, I'm not advising people to quit their jobs. No. Don't put that kind of pressure on yourself. I put that kind of pressure on myself. It accelerated some shit for me. I had to get my shit together in a way, but are you willing to realize that your priorities might be a little fucked up? You might have the wrong idea about life and reality, and that if you're putting yourself through sheer fucking hell for some money, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Now, you can become conscious and go to even the most difficult job and be fine. You can achieve a state of such pure presence that you could work with the biggest assholes that have ever lived, and your presence would just push all of that shit out. There are some people who can do that. I have met them. Nothing bothers them. They're like, whatever. It's just a job. It's just a job. But if you're wounded, if you got some old pain, that is almost impossible. So how do you get your priorities back? How do you get your head screwed on straight again? Oh, because that pain will make you undergo painful situations that cause you more pain, and you won't even know what the hell is going on. People will fight for their pain. Like I said earlier in this video, people will argue for their disease, for their disease. They will argue, Patrick, we need an ego. Patrick, you don't understand. Some of us have to work. Oh, honey, I know somebody. I know we have to work. I mean, what do you why would you think I would not get this basic thing? Yeah, we do have to work, but I also know that God is going to take care of you. So yeah, you could probably take some time off, take a vacation to deal with the pain. Maybe in the future, employers will offer people pain vacations, where they could just take a week off, go sit in a room, deal with their pain. It's actually, dealing with your pain is free, by the way. It actually doesn't cost anything. You can sit in a room and with a notepad and a piece of paper for 8 hours a day for a week, and then you come out and you've dealt with it, and you've cried and you've screamed and you've let go. I mean, that very free thing is probably the best thing that can ever be done. A hermit mode, spending a lot of time alone, is also good. But people will choose, I want Patrick, I want the $1 million solution. I want to pay millions of dollars to bypass this. I want to spend $50,000 on a psych ward stay. I want to be numbed out on medications. I want to develop some health problems. I want headaches. I want IBS. I don't want to do the free thing. I don't want to just sit in a room and deal with whatever arises. No. I don't want the free thing. And that's how you know people are delulu, because who wouldn't want to choose the free thing? Hey, are you a value-oriented person? Do you like bargains? Are you into getting the best price for something? Why do people insist on paying top dollar for stuff that doesn't even work? Isn't it fascinating? Experts say that succeeding on YouTube is when you find your people. Are you my people? Introducing my people. It is when you join this YouTube channel in order to support the work that we do here. What do we do here? We like to spread truth, love, honesty, commitment to spiritual growth and development, healing, and also having a good time. And also calling out some bullshit along the way. For only $2 a month, you can support the work we do here and also help prove my father-in-law wrong.
Patrick, you need to get a job at Ross Dress for less. You may as well hang it up. You won't make a dime on YouTube.
For less than 6 cents a day, you can support this little gay-ass shaman in helping to make YouTube a career. So, thank you for considering joining this community. What will you get? Custom emojis, members-only videos, and also priority reply to comments. I love you guys so much. Thank you for considering joining my people. So, are you my people? I think that's a great way of looking at it. You know, if I remember the last couple of years of my alcoholism and my addiction, when I was in the mental institution, they put me on the maximum dose of Klonopin. And when I tried to get off of that maximum dose of Klonopin, the psychiatrist told me it would be inhumane to take me off of it, that I would have to be weaned off of it. And being weaned off of a benzodiazepine is hell on earth. And I said, I just want to go cold turkey. And he said, well, if you go cold turkey, you could possibly die. And so suffice it to say, I was able to talk to a shaman about this, and she told me, you know, it's going to be 2 years of darkness. It's going to be 2 years of hell. And the only way to go through it is to just go through it. And I resigned myself to it being a very dark 2 years. In order to get through that 2 years, I started sipping vodka to deal with the shakes. That's why I have such a strong insistence that people just should not fuck with any of these drugs at all. Because once you're addicted to a benzodiazepine, you're almost never going to get off of it unless you're willing to go through at least 2 years of just darkness. Like, I can't even describe to you how dark it is. But so in that 2 years, I started sipping vodka. My counselor, I was under a lot of psychiatric care then. They knew what I was. She goes, we'll deal with that. We'll deal with the alcohol once we get you off of benzos. And I drank. By the end, I was chugging vodka, gallons of vodka. I just go. Yeah, it almost killed me. I almost died. Yeah. So that's why I say don't even fuck with this shit if you don't have to. So, but almost 2 years to the day that I took my last benzo, the light came back on. And things changed pretty quickly once I got off those benzos. I was able to get sober. I was able to work a program. I also admitted to God that I might be a shaman, because I had been denying it for years, been like, oh yeah, it's all in my head, I'm a crazy person, yeah, I'm a shaman. But eventually you go through enough shit on this path, and I accepted my role. I formally accepted my role, and I said, okay, this is what I am. Nothing got better in my life until I accepted that role. Okay. So for anybody out there who's going through a really rough time, you're being called to this path of maybe being a shaman or a practitioner of somewhat. Nothing in my life got better until I accepted that role. And once I accepted that role, then the real crazy shit started happening. But witnessing it all, like I was able to just resign myself. It's going to be 2 years. And like Kim says, don't put a time frame on it. But I think you can put a time frame on it. I think, a couple years of just letting it be there, not trying to make the process quicker, not trying to make it run smoother. Make sure that everyone in your life is not injuring you even more. You got some toxic situationships with people. You got to let them know. You could say, bitch, I'm healing. Bitch, I'm going through a healing process. Chances are they won't understand it. And if you want to set a boundary with them, they'll take it personally. They'll cast you as a villain. That's just as more pain. Anybody who truly loves you would understand that you need to heal from something, obviously. But see, they're not healed. They don't understand that they don't have to live in pain and suffering. They are delusional. They are creating suffering in their life and the lives of other people. They don't know. When you're aware of that, you got to back off of that stuff. You got to say, oh, I don't want to create my own suffering anymore. I want to work through this backlog of past shit. And when I get to a baseline with the painful shit in the past, then I will be able to be in a relationship with you. You can say that to them. But witnessing it, you can step out, you can step beyond it and say, this just needs to be felt. I got to feel the pain. And, I've done that with my digestive issues and my stomach issues. It's just something I got to go through. Now, some very lovely people out there have given me all suggestions of different diets to try. And I was like, I tried them all. It's just, I just have to go through it. I just have to feel the pain. You can't take a pain pill for it. You just got to feel it. You got to feel it to heal it. I obviously have to feel this pain. Otherwise, it will never go away because I was running from it. I've been running from it my whole life. And thank God it all came home to roost in my stomach area so that I would finally deal with it. Thank you. I'm so grateful for it. Grateful for this pain. This pain humbled me. This pain chilled me out. If I had not had all of this severe pain, I would be a completely different person. And I love who I am today. I'm very grateful to have gone through the experience of pain. Some days are really bad. I don't know if you can tell this or not, but sometimes I make these videos. I'm like, oh my God. But I do it anyway. I don't let the pain tell me where I can go and what I can do anymore, even though I did for quite a long time. But I'm grateful for it. And the more I'm grateful for the pain, the less it arises. But also it arises when certain things are going on. Like, why am I in pain today? I don't hug people like I used to. Every time I hug people, I feel like I catch some spirit or something. That's the part about being a shaman that you got to watch out for. I'm not as touchy-feely as I used to be because the spirits will hop off of you. If you've got a not so solid energy field, which I don't. I'm not gonna pretend that my energy field is solid. Not today, maybe in a few months from now, but this deep healing work takes time. It takes time, and you can't rush it. Because if, I may want my energy field to be completely restored today, but what would that do? Probably cause a lot of issues and problems. That's why you don't want to take shortcuts or anything. Well, you can't do that. But if you want it to be quick, it can be quick. But like Kim said earlier in this video, you choose what you choose. And the things that I'm learning now are going to be invaluable to people later on. I know this to be true. This little slow road that I'm going through.
And if I had to guess, your mind is telling you almost like, I shouldn't be unhappy. But you're unhappy. And it's the happiness and unhappiness that we so...
I forgot. We've seen this part. But let's look at it again.
desperately want on the conditioned level, on the level of form.
Because I went and had breakfast and then I came back, and I think there's obviously something more to learn from this. So let's go.
Which is not going to be the true happiness. As we go through this, we have to go to what is deeper, that is the uncaused happiness. So a happiness that is not caused by any particular event, or unhappiness that is caused by any particular event, not caused by any particular event. And this is the play and the balance that we must bring, and that our consciousness, being aware of it, brings that. So the full acceptance of that pain that is arising and allowing it to arise and feeling it, while at the same time connecting to that awareness, that consciousness. Who or what is aware of that pain? That awareness is who you really are, not the pain. The pain is something old that's there, something very old that needs to be let out.
I feel like a lot of it is not even mine.
Yeah, problem. Maybe it isn't. Some of it is. But yes, we are, as we are the awakening consciousness through us, our individual forms, we are also awakening that which is, you can say, past, present, and future. But there's no past, present, and future. You've heard of the 100th monkey syndrome, where if there's enough people, a transformation happens, like everybody sort of goes into it, you know? Like, for example, you get enough people talking about, I don't know, a particular thing. Let's do the Coke, because we did the Coke commercial, okay? Enough people see that, and there's something happens, and enough people drink it, and suddenly it's like just spirals. It just like everybody now changes. Or
Like Labubu's, how everybody now people want Labubu's. And I love where she's going with this, because this is something that I say to people, you know, instead of worrying about what's going on in the world, make your world a better place. And when you make your world a better place, the world becomes a better place, if only slightly.
and it could be on the other level, unconscious level, where there's enough people that are unconscious. It could take one person, say, like example, like Hitler, who has somehow enough, in a way, charisma that he had, because his speeches were actually incredible, but it was that unconscious aspect of him that he was able to gather enough people around him where it almost turned the whole country into that. So the awakening consciousness happening through each and every one of us, at some point, if there is enough of that, enough people that are awakened, something will shift. So when you say you feel like it's just not yours, it is true. We past, present, and future, you can say, on a spiritual level, exist in the timeless realm. Manifests in the body still here, still with us. It's like bringing something with you here to the present moment.
And that's interesting because, yeah, there is no past or future, really. It's only the present moment. It's only ever happening right now. And if something happened to you in the past that you're still carrying around, it's still sort of, kind of still happening to you. And the only way to deal with it is to let it out. Otherwise, because and this is the thing about trauma and this kind of stuff, which kind of fascinates me, because if you remember it, it's still happening to you. And something I like to talk about with people is there are things that happen in your life that you don't remember. There's the most of your life you don't remember. But there might be some things that you're still experiencing because you remember them. Like, I really can't remember. I'm having trouble remembering what I do on a day-to-day basis. Like, what movie did I watch? What did I have for lunch yesterday? Like, these kinds of things I don't remember. Like, I don't need to keep them. Like, I don't have to remember things. If I don't have to remember something, I generally won't try to remember it or need to remember it. But at the same time, I also know this: if something is happening to me that's disturbing, I know that I don't have to remember it tomorrow. I can just sort of forget it. It's kind of like when people treat me in an unconscious way, or if they do something to make me angry, I can just forgive them in the moment. That way I don't let a resentment form and I don't have to carry anything over into the next day. You know, the theme for 2025 has been never again. I needed to get to a baseline. I had never really lived far away enough from a dysfunctional family system or the programming. And I'm excited to live away from a dysfunctional family system. My husband is excited. We're fired up. Neither of us have lived too far away from a dysfunctional family system. And it's a little daunting. It's a little weird. Like, since it's almost like being in Narnia or in a no man's land. We're both in a no man's land. Either we were close to a dysfunctional system, or we still had the programming from that dysfunctional system. But for the first time in my life at 53 years old, I am no longer involved or even close to a dysfunctional family system. And it's a little weird. Like, I'll probably explain more as this phase of my life unfolds. But it's weird. Like, the further I'm away from a dysfunctional system, the better I feel. I find myself, the stomach issues are not so bad as they used to be. I'm not feeling bad about myself. I'm actually able to get some work done. I'm able to do my job, which is YouTube, and meet with people and stuff like that. I'm able to be more present away from that dysfunctional system. So the proof is in the pudding. I'm pretty excited about that. But to reach escape velocity with that dysfunctional system, I am aware that there's some more pain to feel. There's some pain that's going to come up. Old pain, you know, especially when you're faced with something like you realize that there may have been people in your life who were dragging you down, sabotaging you. The longer you don't talk to certain people, all that shit gets exposed, and it's disturbing. It can be very disturbing. You realize stuff. That's why people don't want you to go no contact, because they're afraid that if you spend a few months away from them, you're going to see clearly. And that's true. You will. But also, part of the healing, part of getting away. And I think many people don't want to get out of a toxic situation because they're afraid of what they're going to fucking see. And it's terrifying. It's disturbing. It's disturbing what you see away from that. You see the rot, you see the sickness, you see the obsession with disease and the physical form, and you just see it. And it's gross. And many people would rather drink themselves to death than to ever see that. I know I did. For real, y'all.
And when we awaken, we actually then, because we're so tied to each other, there's one connection. As we awaken, something happens also on that level out there, whether it's past or whether it's future, because it really doesn't exist. I had this experience one time in a church in Switzerland. Some of it was old, some of it was new. And I was in the old part, and I had this experience where I just couldn't move my body because I saw past, present, and future happening all in this moment.
Yeah.
And when I saw that and had that experience, I realized that, wow, there is no time. On the spiritual level, there is no time, that all dimensions are happening. But we only see a portion of that dimension. So we are more than just our body and our minds. We are more than just our emotions or the events that happen to us and now that we have to work through because we just didn't have that ability to work through it then. But we can become lost when we lose that dimension of space in us, of stillness, and think that we're only this. And when we think we're only this, that's when it becomes difficult. So let your light shine even more on this.
Yeah.
Not by wishing it to go away. Because when you have even the slightest desire for it to be gone, you haven't fully accepted.
I do want to say that is really beautiful. I remember telling people about ego maybe several years ago. I mean, I had just realized I had an ego. So I wanted to help other people with their ego, help them get it gone. Get it gone. You want this. It's a bad thing. You want it gone. And then after I realized that actually people don't want it gone. People will say, we need an ego. We need an ego. You actually don't need an ego. You don't need it. You don't need it. Once you truly know what the ego is, you won't mess with that stuff anymore. And in fact, you need an ego so little, we actually wrote a book about it. It's called The Machinations of Ego. Get it, read it, wake the fuck up. It is on our website at concreteshamans.com. But this part of shining your light brighter, shine it brighter. Like you are a divine, immortal, multidimensional being in a human body having a human experience that you chose to have. This is really empowering to realize that everything that's going on with you is because you chose it on some level. Why would you choose to go through painful experiences? What do they have to teach you? My painful experiences were designed to show me and illustrate how I was creating suffering in my life. And not only creating suffering in my life, but creating suffering in the lives of others. Because when I was creating suffering in my life, I was like a storm in a human form. Like the opening credits of the Shaman Patrick show illustrate. I was mean, bitter, sharp-tongued. Might even call me evil. I mean, there towards the end, people were calling me a demon, demonic, and all that stuff. And I probably was surrounded by demons. But realizing that I'm a divine being, there's been many times in my life that I've been going through extremely difficult, challenging circumstances. And as soon as I ask this question, why would I choose this? What would this be to show me? much like how I got through understanding my stomach pain was this is a purification process. This is humbling me because I got married. I moved to Kentucky. I was sober. And if I didn't have anything to level me, okay, if I didn't, I could have ended up like Doreen Virtue or Jeff and Shalea or even Aubrey Marcus. Like I could have, that spiritual ego in me could have taken me over and completely ruined my life, maybe the lives of other people as well. So the IBS came along at a pivotal time to get me to just lay the fuck down and work on some real shit. Because what was I working on at the time? I was like, this is what I was like. Bitch, I'm a shaman. What the fuck you gonna do about it? So yeah, I did need to be brought down a few pegs, maybe a lot of pegs. I was moving into arrogance. I was moving into greed. I was moving into all of these things. I had to be leveled in some way. And so that's the reason why I chose the pain and the purification process. It made me grow up. You know, it made me realize what was truly important. And it also showed me who actually gave a shit. Many people in my life knew that I was severely sick. And they actually did things to make it worse. Almost like relishing in the fact that I was in a lot of pain. But you know, what did I learn from all of that? That's why would I choose that purification process? I'm not negative anymore. I'm not afraid anymore. And all of that pain had a purpose. I'm more conscious because of it. Because when you're in so much pain, you have no choice but to be conscious. You can't succumb to the endless, like, how long is this going to be going on? Hell, it could be going on the rest of your life if you want to get right down to it. You may never feel good again. What are you going to fucking do about it? Are you going to lay down and die? Or are you going to get up and live? And that's the point of it all. What are you going to do when you are faced with this pain that you've been bypassing for years, and some of it may not even be yours, like the lady said in the video, you know, some of this doesn't even feel like mine. No, it's probably inherited from your parents. Probably picked up your parents' pain buddy and shit like that, but it's fallen into your lap. It's fallen to you for you to do something with. What are you going to do with it? You could be conscious. You could be present. It has to be dealt with. But if you consciously suffer, if you understand that there's a reason for this suffering, it definitely makes the whole process a lot easier.
Full acceptance means that you are willing to feel this forever. Yeah, I know. But you know what? You know it'll change. Everything changes. So this moment is not going to be the same the next moment or a week or a year from now. But full acceptance actually means you're willing to accept this forever. And forever, it just, on the form level, it just doesn't exist because all forms are impermanent. When you know that on the spiritual level, then you can really say, yeah, I'm willing to accept this fully, completely. Because we know that it will change. But if you're not on the consciousness, the higher consciousness, then you think, oh my God, are you kidding me? I don't want to feel this forever.
I will tell you that things did get a lot better for me. And things do get better for me when I accept that I'm going to be this way forever. Like it's just, I'm going to be in pain forever. Sometimes, especially in the early days of the stomach shit, I was like, I would experience days and days of pain. And then I would have one day where I experienced no pain. It was weird. I was like, what happened? You get used to the pain. You expect the pain. And then the days that you don't feel it, I noticed there were certain things going on. It's like going through a labyrinth. Like, oh, I haven't received a phone call from a family member in 2 weeks. That's why my stomach feels good. And as soon as I would think that, I would get a phone call or a text message, or somebody would come over and going, just checking in to see if you're okay. Why would I not be okay? They knew why I wouldn't be okay. I heard you were feeling better. We came along to shut this shit down. So yeah. So I want to talk about anger to end this video. I'm going to leave that Kim video where it is. If you want to watch that, I have returned to that video many times over the past few years. I like it. I love it as a check-in. Like, I love to check in and see where I am, where I'm going. And because the pain does not go away. Like, you can make the pain go away by taking drugs or bypassing. It'll go away, but it really doesn't go away. That's why most spiritual masters will say you can't use drugs to deal with the pain. Painkillers and stuff like that don't take away the pain. In fact, they make it a lot worse. So I'm going to talk to you about anger right now. And I want to illustrate that anger is something that you got to feel. And a lot of our pain comes from the fact that we have not allowed ourselves to be angry. I made a video on our Concrete Shamanism channel about anger, and you can look at it if you want. I'll include a link to that video below. But the AI song today is called Angry, and it's about being angry and accessing anger. But and we'll watch that in a little bit. But I just want to let you know that I'm so proud of you for doing this difficult work. I mean, yeah, we talk shit on the Shaman Patrick show, but let's not forget the purpose of this show. It is to show that you can heal from almost anything, that you can fuck up a whole bunch in your life and still find love, that you can forgive yourself and forgive other people, that you can live an abundant, happy life just by showing up for life, no matter how bad you feel. And if you show up for life, even when you feel bad, that's worth celebrating. So I love you guys so very much. If you would like to support the work we do, please like and subscribe, comment, or use an emoji if you've got nothing to say. Share this content with others. Thank you for watching and growing with us. All right, so here is the AI song for today. It is called Angry.
I kept my voice in a velvet box, chained it shut with its okay locks, bit down hard on every scream, made nice in every nightmare dream, passed the plate at Sunday school, while dad was drunk and mom played cool, forgave the wounds before they bled, stacked the shame beneath my bed. I'm not angry, no, not me, I'm fine, but there's a monster in my spine, a fire buried in my mind, it's smiling with a hollow face, and whispering you've been erased. I'm angry, I just never said it, burning up inside like a dirty little credit, for every time I smiled when I should've screamed, for every fucking lie that I made clean. I'm angry, don't tell me to breathe, this is the sound of the rot underneath, but I'm digging through the dirt with both my hands to find the part of me that still can stand. I learned to love like it was war, handed roses through a locked door, took the blame that wasn't mine, played the saint to feel divine. I made excuses out of pain, learned to dance in acid rain, numb the rage with holy light, till I mistook surrender for right. I'm fine, can't you see I'm fine? Makes me choke like swallowing glass I never broke. This body's tired of being a vault. This rage, it's not my fucking fault. I'm angry, I just never said it, burning up inside like a dirty little credit, for every time I smiled when I should've screamed, for every the mask off the damn gaslighter. Say the name, call it out. Find your rage and fucking shout. I'm fine, I'm okay. I didn't mean to make waves. No more lies. Took back my voice, for heaven's sake. No more silence in my throat. No more shrinking just to cope. I'm angry and it feels like truth, like sacred fire in a phone booth. If I burn for peace. Let the poison finally release. I'm finally angry.